Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana. Today I'm going to be talking about the games we got to the table in the month of November 2021. If you'd like to see what hit the table in the Webb household, stay tuned. So in November 2021, we were able to get in 61 gameplays, 15 different games, 17 if you count expansions or different versions of a game, and 4 of those games being new. So we're going to start from the older games first, kind of in ascending order in terms of number of gameplays, and talk to you just briefly about each one. First up, we've got Valley of the Vikings. This is one we often play with the grandkids. It's a Haba game, dexterity element, a little bit of strategic planning that they're starting to figure out more and more as they get older. And so we enjoyed playing that a couple times with the grandkids. Another one is Maquis. Maquis is a solo game by Side Room Games, and this is one that I've been enjoying. I only played it a couple times this month, but enjoyed playing it a lot last month, kind of when it first arrived, and again, enjoying some more plays of this one. It's a strategic game where you're trying to play the resistance and accomplish different missions before you get arrested by the police. So that's a good one, Maquis. Next up, Kohaku. Kohaku is one that we have the version that's got the acrylic tiles, and so it's a really beautiful version. It's got kind of a 3D nature to the imagery. You're building a koi pond, and it's just a tile laying game. Very beautiful. This is one that's just really calming. My wife and I played it a couple times together and really enjoyed this one. I probably might play it when I'm done with this video. It's just one that I'll play anytime, just to kind of give me that relaxing feel and enjoy a little quick gameplay. Next up is Azul. Azul we played a couple times. My wife and I just sat down one night, and we hadn't played it in a while, and just decided, let's play a couple rounds of that. And I think we ended up playing 2 or 3 rounds just in that one night, and so it was fun to get this one back to the game. Another tile laying game, but not so much in terms of like Kohaku, where you're laying them out on a tableau, but you're actually putting them in certain positions on your board, kind of simulating building up a tile wall. And so we enjoyed this one, just 2-player Azul by Plan B Games, I believe. Next Move Games. All right, another one that I played a few times was Medici the dice game. I talked about this one last month. Game by Reiner Knizia. It's Grail Games. And this one is a really simple roll and write game. You're rolling the dice, you're picking the resources, you're trying to fill the ship, you're trying to game monopolies. Really simple. You can play it in a really short amount of time. I think I played this one 4 times in the month of November, and I think I just played it solo all those times. So I have a video on this one if you want to check it out, how to play Medici the dice game. Next up, Lord of the Rings, the card game. And I haven't played this one in quite some time and finally got it back to the table. Just played some solo rounds. Actually, mostly played this one this month digitally on Steam, but working through some of the scenarios there. Really enjoy this game, one of my top games. Looking forward over Christmas break to breaking out the cards again and trying through some of the different settings and scenarios that I haven't tried yet. So Lord of the Rings card game, a fantasy flight game. Another one we played several times, Ticket to Ride, and this one again is one that I played more on Steam than anything, and played both the European version and the American maps. So this is one where it's kind of 2 different versions, but really digitally on Steam solo. But I think played this one 4 times also in November. Really enjoying Ticket to Ride as a quick one that, especially on Steam, I can play a game in 10 minutes. And so it's just a nice fun one to kind of relive that feeling of what Ticket to Ride's like. My son really likes Ticket to Ride, and so when he's here visiting over Christmas, we'll probably pull that one back out and play it again. Another one that I played this month several times, I think 4 times just the regular game, and then another time with Skulls of, was it the Scoundrels of Skullport expansion, but again, on Steam. So I have the board game, but it's so easy to play this one on Steam and so quick, especially solo. So I played, again, a lot of solo games this month. The family was kind of busy with a lot of things, so squeezed in a game here and a game there, mostly online because they're so much quicker to do that way. But I really do love Lords of Waterdeep. I don't actually own the Scoundrels of Skullport expansion yet, only can play it on Steam. So that's another reason I like to play on Steam, so I can use that expansion. But that was a good one. With and without the expansion, I think 5 times total. And then the next up, we've got Cascadia. And this one I played 10 times this month, and a mix of on the table and online on the GitHub website. On the GitHub website, it's just solo only, but on the table you can play with multiple players. So this is another tile laying game, just beautiful. You take a tile, take a token. I've got a video on this one too if you want to see how to play Cascadia and see my review. I've got a couple videos on this one actually. Really great game. This one's by AEG and Flat Out Games. Tremendous one by Randy Flynn. And got that one to the table 10 times. Another one that got to the table that many times is Explorers, but getting to the table, it was online because I don't have the game. It's not actually available in the US yet. Explorers by Phil Walker Harding. And that game is one where you're building out your map, and it's, like I said, it's just an online solo version that I've been working with, and I'll have a link down below in case you want to try it. But you're building out a map, certain number of moves at a time, and depending on which terrain you move through, you can move a different number of steps, and you're trying to explore temples. And I also have a playthrough of this of the online version, so I'll put a link up there if you're curious to see how this one plays online. And then the most played game, also 10 times this month, Rolling Realms. This is a new one. Received this one as a review copy from Stonemaier Games. We'll be putting up my review for this one here in the next week or so. I'm just waiting on getting the newest expansion promo pack already for this one, Terra Mystica promo pack, and I should be getting that in the next few days. I actually purchased that myself, but I'd like to play that expansion pack before I make the video so I can include my reflections on that as well. But played this one 10 times. Played a lot of solo games kind of with Jamie's roll and play along. He's had a bunch of those videos up, and also with Rado, and also then just playing on the table as well normally. So Rolling Realms, another one that we played 10 times this month in November. And now we move on to the new games of the month. So the first one was a surprise to me. I didn't order it. It just showed up in the mail. It's Panorama. It's by SparkPoint Games, or SparkWork, SparkPoint, that's our TV show, SparkWorks Games, and this is a fun game that's really pretty art. I only played it 2-player, and I think actually it'll probably play better with 3 or 4. You have to modify the rules for 2-player, and then there's also a solo version that I tried. Didn't really care too much for the solo version, but I really would like to try this with 3 or 4. I think it would be fun. You're building out a panorama with different animals and scenery, and you got to line up the scenery as you build it out, and you're trying to match them together a little bit like Cascadia, in that the way you place the animals and the moon and things like that, you get different point totals by their positioning. And so this is a little fun sort of side-to-side panorama game called Panorama. So hopefully that one will get some more plays here coming soon. Another new one for me, and I'll be actually recording and posting a video of my reboxing for this one soon, because this one, the hardest part of this one was figuring out what all the cards are. There's so much in this one, and then I also had the expansion, so I sleeved them all, and then I had to watch some other videos and look on BGG to figure out how to organize it. So I'm planning on actually recording a video of how I've organized it here in case there's other people that have kind of struggled through that process. But I did get to play it one time solo and played the Goldfinger movie out, and barely won by the skin of my teeth, but yeah, enjoyed this one. First time I've ever played a Legendary game, and I'm looking forward to a lot more plays of Legendary 007, the Bond deck building game. Another new one to the table for us was La Isla, and this is by Stefan Feld. It's a Ravensburger Alia game, and this is one of his older games, Stefan Feld's older games, and you've got this map out on the board, and you're exploring the map trying to research different animals previously thought to be extinct, and you gain reward points basically that you're moving up the tracks, and you're trying to explore more on certain animals to make them more valuable to your research at the end of the game. Janelle and I played this one a couple times, and it's a fun little game. It was pretty easy to learn and pretty quick to play. You can get a couple rounds in. We just played a couple times right away in one afternoon, probably twice in an hour. So pretty quick game, pretty fun. I think it's one that we'll enjoy playing more and more, but just 2 times in November as it was new to us. And the last one, the most played new game of the month of November, and this is Role Player Adventures. This is a Thunderworks game, and this is a Kickstarter version that I picked up and received recently. And even though it just arrived in November, we've already put probably 6 to 8 hours into this game. I think we've played through 3 full adventures, and then just, learning the game and trying to figure it out. And we incorporated in the, is it Nephris's Judgment, something like that. It's the backstory expansion that came with it, And so we started reading through those backstories as part of the game, which extends the game length a little bit. But we're really enjoying this one. We had it out on the table for the whole week of Thanksgiving and just played it as much as we could through that week. So looking forward to getting back. I think we played 4 adventures. So I think we're ready to get into adventure number 5. There's 10 in the box, plus a conclusionary adventure, and then like side adventures that you can check. So really enjoying this one. And so without even making any transition here, my best game of the month, this one right here, Role Player Adventure. This is the one that I enjoyed the most. I had a lot of fun with a lot of the games. It was fun to get Lord of the Rings, the card game, back to the table. Always loved Cascadia, always loved Kohaku. But this one, both being new and just how much fun that my wife and I had in investing in the adventures, trying to figure out how to get the dice to be manipulated just right so we could satisfy the different tasks we had to accomplish and the different combats we had to overcome. I will say that in those 4 adventures, we did die a few times, so but it's got a nice fail forward. So when you die, you don't have to start the game over. It actually helps boost you up a little bit, so you're better off in the next adventure. So it's not a terrible bad thing. So I really enjoyed that. And hopefully after I've played a few more adventures, can maybe put together a review for this one as well, Role Player Adventures. So those were the games that we got to the table at our house in November. What were your favorite games of November? I'd love to read about it in the comments below. Any new games that you played in November you want to tell me about, or just what was your favorite of the month? So hopefully that was interesting for you to see what we played at our house. And if you have questions about any of these games, you can leave those down below and I'll be glad to get back to you with answers. If you enjoyed the video, if it was entertaining at all, I'll appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up down below so I can see that you liked it. And if you would subscribe to the channel, that would be terrific as well. As always, thanks for watching. This is Billy, Indiana, signing off.